Are we sticking with like our old intro? It is Tuesday.
Could be.
So Baller, let's get straight into it.
Let's do it.
Tell me about review.
It falls under the remember pillar of our pillars of write, remember, share. And it is a way to remember the lists and days that you've written things down on.
So the pillars, write, remember, share.
Yeah.
How does review fit into the remember pillar?
I mean, if we look at the other applications,
That's what I want you to say.
Apple Notes, Evernote, a lot of the complaints that we hear from people are that they don't revisit their notes. They kind of just go into this abyss. And part of writing something down, taking the time to write something down, the benefit of that is being able to recall, is being able to remember, is revisiting these things.
For me, the aha moment,
Pardon.
90% of the time when dealing with twos is when I remember something that I wrote down that I would have otherwise forgotten.
We're always looking for things that differentiate us, that would get somebody to say it does this. Something that we've heard from our users, like Stu, I'd love to be able to review like my day. The decision to build it was somewhat based on that. Like, here is an easy way to review
The things you've written down. So that's review. Industry news. Bear 2. Everyone is touting its beautiful design. You can now create tables, play GIFs, preview links and PDFs, scan documents, table of contents, bring your own fonts. What are your thoughts on Bear 2? And how does Twos differentiate itself?
I mean, I would consider Bear 2 to be basically Apple Notes, basically Evernote. And that's just not what we hope to build. Like, we're not trying to give people a place to create documents, even notes. We're really trying to help people like capture things, write things down, share things. Like, we're close because we are in like the note-taking space. I think we're reducing the
barrier to entry.
Yeah, we're making it easier. We're making it easier to write more things down.
Do you feel like it is a complicated task to create the divide between traditional note-taking tools and document editors to an application to write things down? And if you want to extrapolate that, write, remember, and share things. Like, we can't describe twos as an easier notion if that's really not our intent.
We cannot have people coming to twos expecting a notes experience. That's where we need to completely change people's expectations by introducing a new concept that is called writing things down and make it very different. Make it like you have not done this before. We don't want to be a note-taking app. We want to be a write things down app. And guess what? You can take notes doing what we're doing.
Exactly.
Like, you can manage your to-dos doing what
And it's why we empower people, like why I think we've become more comfortable with the idea that you can use twos in parallel with any document editor. In an ever-growing sea of notes apps for Apple devices, Bear is still as good as it gets. So I really, really like that line as it relates directly to the conversation that we just had. The sooner that people realize that we are not concocting another notes app, that we are trying to redefine the value of writing things down, the sooner that we become a household name.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Like, we can't expect people to understand that without us telling them.
Back to the behind the scenes thing, we were talking about one of our goals in the next 3 months to be making a video that gets 1 million views. I think one amazing way of doing that has been the idea that I've always had, which is a Dollar Shave Club type spoof where things are just flying at you. And like we, do cut scenes to like Guy, at children's soccer game, and he's got a mom saying a thing to him over here, and then a kid yelling a thing at him from the field, and then he's at the office and he's got this thing going on, that thing going on. And we really like break the walls down, break the fourth wall to say, these aren't notes. These things that are going on in this guy's life that are making it absolutely chaotic are not things that we want to write notes about. They are things that we want to capture,
Remember and share.
remember, and share. Literally.
Yeah.
It's, honey, did you make sure to get Gatorade before soccer practice?
Yeah.
But also, your son slide tackling a defender and being like, what up? It's like maybe we don't want to reinforce that action, but maybe we want to remember it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you remember when you slid tackle that kid like in your first game on the field?
Yeah, you were sick at that.
And guess what? After you did that slide tackle, you had a nice Gatorade because dad remembered to buy it.
Yeah.
These are the things.
All over it.
These are the things that we write down.
Yeah.
Things.
Thanks.
What a world.
You're not writing that in your notes app.
You're just not.
You're not.
So that's the end of our industry news segment. Baller, you were saying that there's a new segment that you want to try?
Yes, I would like to highlight a feature of Twos and how I use it in real life.
Please.
We have a car show that happens every third Saturday of the month. I have a custom repeating reminder in Twos. Armature Car Show, third Saturday of every month. That's how I use this feature.
Why did you use Twos to remind yourself when the Armature Car Show is happening?
I like to know when it's happening, and I also have a hope to align my parents' trip around the car show because I know my dad likes cars.
Cool.
So it's kind of like in preparation if wherever,
Yeah.
it has to work out in a certain way, but I hope to have my dad come to the car show.
I was thinking that you were going to say so that I can like remember to buy more earplugs before it happens. At a tailgate on Saturday, and I just started chopping it up with a buddy of mine, and we noticed a guy across the street fall down. Classic drunk guy fall down moment.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever been in those situations, like you yourself, it is embarrassing, demoralizing. You're the classic fall down drunk guy.
Uh-huh.
So in that moment, me and my buddy started to discuss a spoof of the Life Alert commercials. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Mm-hmm.
So you press the button and it calls emergency services.
Yeah.
We want to create an SNL sketch called Bro Alert. So for when your bros fall down and they can't get up, you hit Bro Alert, and then a bro shows up, gives you a dap, lifts you back up, gives you a little pep talk, a bottle of water, and he says, "Get back out there, champ."
Okay.
I was like, that's actually a really funny idea.
Yeah.
Wrote it down on my day, selected it, moved it to my SNL sketches, ideas list.
Yeah.
And that's where it'll sit until I make that comedy.
I like the idea. I think it can be used beyond fall down. Like I think it could be like need a wingman, hit that,
Bro Alert.
and then it's like you come over. Have you met this guy? This guy's amazing. she goes from like completely like doesn't care to like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And how funny would it be like if he's like, he's like struggling in that conversation.
Yeah.
He turns around, he pulls out this little button from like, and he hits it. And this guy with like a backwards hat like just shows up. Man, you have not met my boy Parker.
Yeah. This guy is the man.
All right. That is the end of episode 2 of Two's Talk. Name still completely undetermined because our goal is to get it out to as many people as possible. And I guess I still have...
I came up with the name.
I'm ready.
Two's Talk. Not a productivity podcast. Like something like that where it's like not this type of podcast
I love that.
and this type of podcast is the SEO.
I kind of love that. We really appreciated y'all's feedback from episode 1. We are incorporating all of those different comments and suggestions into how we record these for future episodes. So please remember to share any thoughts, suggestions, ideas, questions in the comments section of this video. We will read every single one. Until next time, happy Tuesday.
Two's out.
Cheers, man.